Hey everybody, welcome back to Vanland. We have another van tour for you guys today because we know how much you like to see finished vans as you're dreaming about your own build. Today we have a 144 Sprinter. It's a two-wheel drive, and we've done some exterior modifications and also an Adventure Wagon Kit on the inside and a smart floor with some seats that move back and forth. So this is a really utilitarian build that has a bunch of flexibility built into it. It's a pretty straightforward build. There's not a ton of bells and whistles, so this would be great for somebody who's looking to just get a build done and get on the road with the family. So the first thing I want to do is start on the outside with you guys and show you what we've installed. On the exterior, we have installed the RoamBuilt side steps, and these continue to be our favorite side steps as of right now, although there are some other options out there. Our clients are always commenting on how nice it is to have a wide step, and then also the fact that there is perforated aluminum means that if you have sand or dirt or snow on your feet, that it actually falls through the side step and stays a lot cleaner. The roof rack is by Flatline. That is their standard roof rack. It's a modular roof rack, so it comes in some boxes and you build it out. It's very modular. It does not have a deck on the top to walk on, but instead it has some crossbars where we've mounted the solar panels and some accessibility for the air conditioner and the roof fan that are up there. We've also added on the back the rear ladder. So the rear ladder is a good choice if you want to have like a sleek look to the van. The side ladders, which are great if you need to access the top of the roof rack quite often, they just stand out a little bit more. And so this is a great option when you're just going to have limited access to the roof, but do need to get up there on occasion. Another big upgrade we did to this van is to put a 2-inch lift and a suspension kit on by Van Compass. So the two-wheel drives are lower to the ground than the four-wheel drive, and if you want to give it that more aggressive look and more clearance, of course, then the 2-inch lift is a great way to do that. So there are lift blocks throughout the chassis to get it off the ground, and then also adjustable rear shocks from Falcon and the Bilstein front shocks with sumo springs. So as you guys know, we are big fans of the Van Compass suspension kits, as are our clients. They're always raving about them when they get that upgrade. So it's nice to take a two-wheel drive van and beef it up with the Van Compass suspension and give it a little bit of a different, more prominent look on the road. We've also added a couple of windows. We have the CR Laurence T-vent window here. That adds some ventilation for the passengers, and then also the CR Laurence 1033 bunk windows here. So it's really important in any van that you do add windows or a skylight, really as many places as possible, because when you get them, they are dark on the inside. Anyone who builds van can attest to that. So it's nice to put in, windows as necessary. This van did come with the factory rear windows, so those were already in, but with what we've added, it really brightens up the interior and makes it much more livable, someplace you want to hang out for hours on end. You can see up top the WeBoost antenna. So we installed the cell phone booster, and that just gives you a better signal. You do tend to lose your cell phone signal inside the van, just because it's a metal box and the signal doesn't get through as well. So adding the antenna to the top and amplifying that signal inside, especially for this client who's definitely going to need to be working on the road, that's a good addition. If you guys didn't catch it, we did our recent video on Starlink and adding satellite internet to the vans, which is really the best way to go if you need an internet connection anywhere. And this client may do that when his Starlink comes in, but for now we did the cell phone booster, so your cell phone's gonna have a better signal basically any time. So that is the outside. Let's take you guys on the inside and I'll show you what we did there. So here we are inside with the 144 Adventure Wagon Kit. And Adventure Wagon makes a great kit. We're really into kits at Vanland these days when it comes to the interiors, specifically because we know from experience how much time and effort and dollars go into creating a custom interior. It can sometimes take up a majority of the build, even though it seems like it shouldn't, it actually does. So we're really into getting interior kits that can allow you to, first of all, know your cost of what it's gonna take to build out the inside, at least in terms of the interior finishes. It'll save the average builder or DIYer a ton of time. And then also the finished product is basically complete. It gives you a fully finished look so that your van has a nice style to it and it feels good to be inside. The Adventure Wagon Kit basically consists of a metal substructure that's behind all of these panels that adds structure to the vehicle and allows you to put on the L-track and know that it's supported behind it. Once you have that install kit up, then you have your L-track and your paneling. All that stuff is pre-done and shipped out so that it's easy to install and basically all fits together. You have a couple different color choices in terms of the hard materials. We have bamboo here and black hex. And then I think there's 4 different colors for the fabric walls. So you can kind of put your own style in, even though they all relatively look the same when they're done. You're able to kind of match it to your favorite color palette. Once the Adventure Wagon Kit is in, you still need to add some accessories and other components to really, make it a finished van. So here we have put in the Flatline upper cabinets here, and these are made out of aluminum with a bamboo face on it, so it obviously matches really nice with the bamboo from the Adventure Wagon Kit. We have also done a Maxxair Fan in the back, of course, to evacuate the warm, stale air from the back. Here we have the Nomadic 12-volt air conditioner. This is just a wonderful addition if you have a family or pets, or just yourself. You need to be cool because the inside of a van does get quite hot when it's hot outside. So this air conditioner just starts right up, runs off of the batteries, and they're fairly efficient. So even a reasonable number of amp hour capacity in your battery system is going to be able to push this air conditioner for hours on end. A couple other things we have are an Espar Heater, which we do under the seat pretty much on every van. It's a great place to put it and distributes the heat nicely, generally right across the floor, which is where you want it. You can see we also typically install our Espar thermostat and controller on the front side of the shelf there. That's a really good location just because it takes a very accurate reading of the temperature in the van and starts the heater up. For instance, if you open the door and cold air comes in, that will sense it right away and spool the heater up as needed to give you more heat as soon as it gets cold. So there's other places to mount them. That's our favorite place. We've also done an aluminum shelf over the driver and passenger seat. This is an RB component shelf, and it's a great place, as you can see, to just store gear, coats, gloves, all that sort of stuff. Maybe your window covers, things that otherwise are kind of roaming about the van as you drive. You can put them up there, which is generally unused space anyway. This is the Moab Bed that is part of the Adventure Wagon Kit. Let's go ahead and take out the Moab Bed and see how long this really takes. It's like if I can't get it to come together, then I'm just going to be scraping it along the walls as I take it out, which is like not what I want to do. So, can I reach under here and do this without killing myself with my finger? Ow. Okay, got it. That's one of them. I just learned that if you slam them together, then the latches will catch. I didn't know that before. All right, so the bed is out. One of the things you have to think about also is where you're gonna store the bed. So obviously if you just need to haul something and you can leave the bed panels in the garage, that's awesome. But if you're traveling and you wanna bring the bed with you, but you don't want it in, there are some solutions, but the panels are pretty heavy. They're a little bit awkward and they would rattle since there's metal and plastic together if you don't secure them super tightly. So that's just something to consider that I think a lot of people don't think about when they get one of these beds. They just assume that the panels just magically go away or just go up to the ceiling, which is not always the case. Okay, so that's the Adventure Wagon bed. That's the real story. So another big consideration when you're building out a van is seating, and it's one of the most kind of complicated decisions that you'll have to make, and that's specifically because seats take up space. They can often be bulky, difficult to remove, and you may not want them there all the time. So one of the solutions that we offer is the Smart Floor, and the Smart Floor has the embedded tracks in it, and the seats that we have here lock into the tracks so you can move them forward and back. The Smart Floor is an aluminum floor. The top really needs to be finished out because it's really not that pleasant to just have a full-on aluminum floor. So we have added the Lawn Coin lawn seal material to this van. This is a pretty standard for vans and actually goes really well in this particular build because of the black hex wall with the Adventure Wagon Kit and also the black door panels and the black seats. The black floor looks really great. So that has been, the lawn seal has been applied to the top of the floor. One of the downsides of the Smart Floor is that it can certainly be colder than a wood floor and often even colder than the factory floor. Here are the Smart Seats. This is the Smart Seat RV option, which allows you to do that. And that's great because, again, you can slide it underneath the bed or even just for better visibility, or feels like there's more room when it's down. They have a minimal recline, I would say. We do have seats that go back further than this, but the main feature is that they go forward. All right, let's take a look at how you unlock them. It's pretty simple. You pull up on the safety here and then just pull that back. Same thing over here. Pull that back and then bam, seat is released. And roll it on back. Client, we've put in a power system. It's not something they wanted to do themselves, but they are going to actually finish off all this cabinetry themselves, which we think is really cool. Sometimes nice to send the job to a shop like ours for some of the harder parts or things that are a little bit more complicated, like a power system, and then do some of the work yourself too, if you're into that. So this is a 400 amp hour Victron power system. It's all Victron blue throughout, which is the way that we really like to go, just due to reliability. And then also the fact that with the Victron systems, when you use all Victron equipment and you add the servo and the servo display, you can see every component of your system, not only on your phone, but also online through their virtual remote management, the Victron VRM. So for this client, for instance, no matter where he is, if he can get onto an internet connection, then we can help diagnose any problems there might be. We can look at all the individual components, see their history, and look at the warnings, see anything that might be going wrong with it, and usually diagnose it and fix it without ever having to see the client. And you can only really do that if you go with all Victron equipment. So not only is the Victron stuff super high quality and very reliable, just the fact that you can integrate it with the servo and the internet and the VRM, it's basically why we do them this way. So I'm not going to go over each of the components in this Victron system because we've already done a 400 amp hour power system video for you guys. The link will be in the description. But some people do ask, what's the difference between the basic system and the advanced system? And specifically, it's the Servo GX and the display. So you can build the system without those components, but without them, you're not able to connect it to the VRM via the internet. So that is the difference between the basic and advanced. It's just simply the servo and the display. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this van tour of a 144 Sprinter with an Adventure Wagon Kit. If you want something like this, but a little bit bigger, we also did a 170 van and a video of that, which the link is in the description. But that is all for today, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.